Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the As Seen on TV podcast. For Supernatural Season 11, Episode 6, Our Little World. I'm your host, Mike, and joining me is Kim.
Hi.
And Nikki.
Hey.
Hey. And Dom. Ow.
How's your knee?
Actually, while I was at work today, I realized, oh right, I hit my knee the other night. I took a knee to put a car down up on a lift and make sure a lift leg was set, and as soon as it hit the concrete, didn't hit, but I placed it on the concrete and put my weight on it, I was like, oh, right, I need a pole.
You took a knee to a car.
Yeah,
An inanimate object.
Just before we start the podcast, I know it's completely off topic from Supernatural, but I was over there yesterday? Was I there yesterday?
No, 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
But this happened 3 days ago. No, this happened Tuesday, you're right.
Tuesday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tuesday.
so I was there Tuesday, and we rearranged some furniture. So Mike went to lift his leg to walk around something that was no longer there, and lifted his leg and drove it into a steel pole.
The main
Concrete pole, whatever.
The
But yeah.
main support pole that's in the middle of the basement here. I went on and I need it, and when I need it with a decent amount of force.
He kneaded harder than I've ever kicked a human being.
I am holding
And
back
that's
the
pretty
cheese
hard.
comment I was about to make.
And the dog flipped out and started barking. My parents were like, what just happened? They thought something like fell off the house.
The whole house shook.
Yeah.
He hit it hard. So I was just curious how you're. Is it black and blue?
You know, honestly, I haven't looked. I kept hitting it today and realizing how much it hurts, and oh yeah, look at that. It's not. It's very.
Wait. Were you an adventurer until you took him at a pole to the knee?
Yeah, I took a pole to the knee. I'm an adventurer. My God, be.
Sorry.
So
I was holding it.
Yeah,
what
it's
do you guys
just
think of this episode?
bruise. It was a good episode. Wait, I'm the host. What did you guys think of this episode?
So yeah, it was a good episode.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
That ending.
I have that song stuck in my head now.
I didn't even think of that.
You know what? I
Not
had
that
that
song.
song stuck
Oh.
in my head the whole freaking time. This whole season.
Not the Darkness song. You'll be a woman soon. The one they played at the during the end of the episode. I have it stuck in my head.
It was a good song. Very
Just
good
like
ending.
You
I
will
thought it was
be a
very,
woman soon.
So,
very fitting.
yeah, Crowley's kind of pissed at Amara for sneaking out, which, I mean, he's playing daddy to an infinitely powerful supernatural being here. And he grounds her, which I find hilarious.
It tempts horribly.
Yeah, I just love the whole rebellious teenager face that she's, she's that age, and she's being the perfect rebellious teenager. And
Yeah.
here's Crowley during a meeting with, like, how to, deal with your rebellious teenager. Soul consumption in the Pacific Northwest is down 40% this quarter, blah, blah, blah. And he's just like, fuck that noise.
Self-help books.
Self-help books. So, where do we start? I guess with the whole Dean and Sam finally breaking into Crowley's lair, which, I mean, apparently is on the mortal plane and not in hell.
Yeah, I kind of assumed it was just the ease of which Rowena was accessing it last season.
Right. But now I guess we got hard concrete evidence for it.
And I don't know
Yeah.
about you guys, but I'm pretty sure that we've seen that asylum in like almost every single TV show that we've ever watched.
It's probably at least every single CW TV show we've ever watched.
I'm pretty sure that it was in the originals. I'm pretty sure it was actually an American Horror Story. As like it was a backdrop to like a flashback of like it wasn't an asylum. I think it was like a housing like adoption center in American Horror Story. I think it was like a flashback scene for an adoption center.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the outside backdrop for it, and I don't know. I feel like I've seen it in so many shows. It's ridiculous, but they did a good job of covering it up and stuff to make it look like somewhere new.
Yeah, they did. So I like this episode had it was kind of odd because they kept jumping back and forth between both main plots because they tied in with each other, which doesn't always happen that way. The other main plot is Cass, while still watching TV and dealing with the psychological effects of the spell he was under, he sees amateur video turned into a news station of a shooting, and in the reflection he sees Metatron behind the camera.
It's about damn time.
Yeah, we haven't heard of Metatron since the end of last season?
Yeah.
He's been mentioned, but this is the first time we've actually seen him.
Right, I mean, it wasn't even the finale of last season either. He up and left, and yeah.
He got the demon tablet and poofed.
I think what shocked me so long is not how long it's taken Metatron to show up, but the fact that normally by now, with Supernatural, we would have had 2 filler episodes.
You're right.
We've technically had 0.
The filler episodes have been very plot-centric filler.
They were 100% tied in, because like everybody, you could argue, I think probably the biggest one you can argue is Baby. And that one ended up still just showing you what it's like to be a monster living with the darkness around and the fear. So it was still really plot centric. But then what was it, last week? With the Lizzie Bordenhouse or whatever.
Yeah, it started out.
Like it's still tied in, and it was just incredible. So I was totally expecting this one to be a filler episode that didn't tie into anything, and all of a sudden here's Metatron. I'm just like, okay then.
And they pull the wool over your eyes last week, especially because the first 10-15 minutes it seems very filler episode, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, they're like this because Amara sucked their souls out.
Yeah.
Sorry? And
then it even kind of like came back to itself with the last week into this one as well.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I guess Metatron is, he's human still. Nothing new has come of that.
A big loser.
He is pathetic, too, on top of it. You know how much I had to steal and then pawn in order to afford that camera?
As much as he was going on to like how awesome human being is, I'm like, yeah, that was awesome for about 2 seconds until you realize there's other shit you gotta deal with.
like charge my cell phone.
Yeah, like charge my cell phone was the big god.
It was more keep it charged. That because that is a struggle of everyday life. That's probably one of the biggest struggles.
I never really thought about that.
Just sad. That's sad.
Well, it is sad, but like, because I was gone for like the last week, but I was in California, and it's like I really have to budget my usage on the phone, otherwise it is gonna be dead in 10 minutes, and I'm not gonna be back at the hotel for at least 12 to 15 hours.
It's okay. It was at 62%.
We're constantly plugging our phones into shit. Did you see the there's just things. I'm like, as soon as I found a plug, I'm like, oh, let's plug my phone in.
Yeah, and so that statement that he made here really resonated with me after like
last week
for granted, just how accessible charging your phone is.
Right, and I mean, for my phone to be any use, because I mean it's a smartphone nowadays. Now that we're on this topic, that Metatron brings up something, fundamentally human about our day and age. In order for my phone to be anything but a portable telephone and text messaging device, because they do that now, if that is the only functionality I put my phone on, and I cut it down to like ultra power saving mode to where the UI is just crap, the battery on this thing will last for over 2 weeks. even if I make calls and stuff like that. Like right now, in its main mode, just on phone, I mean, the way I use my phone, the battery lasts for a week. But then it's just a phone. What's the point of having a smartphone? If I turn everything else on, it lasts for 12 hours.
I charge mine every day.
Anyway, back to the episode. Metatron and Cass have a lovely scene where Cass just, just starts beating the ever-living crap out of him. Which...
Astiel.
Astiel.
Hashtag SDL.
Yeah.
Which I was worried about him at first because he has that whole he had PSD going on, and then
PSD.
PDS. No,
PTSD.
Post-traumatic stress.
Yeah,
disorder.
that was the words I was looking for.
PSD.
Anyway, but what I was trying to think of what that phobia is of going outside. I couldn't think of what it was.
Agoraphobia.
Yeah. But that's what at first I'm like, oh, is he just going to be he's going to be stuck and we're going to see him watching Netflix for the next, 2 episodes, 3 episodes.
Pretty much.
Start watching Jerry Springer or some shit.
I mean, he's watching the supernatural world's equivalent of Maury.
Yeah, pretty much. So I was glad that they didn't let that last very long, that he immediately, got his shit together as soon as he saw Metatron going, okay, I'm going to go find this jerk face.
Ricky Lake is a real person. What are you talking about?
Ricky Lake is
that wasn't Ricky Lake he was watching. He was
legit watching Ricky Lake.
Okay, they used a different name for her.
Yeah, it was Ricky Lake, but that's what old Rhea runs Ricky Lake. I don't even know how long ago that was.
But he's like, oh, he is not ready to be a father. Come on.
Yeah, that was.
Dean's reaction.
He was getting all into it.
But while Sam and Dean are, trying after finding out that from the lackey demon who was assassinating all the soulless vessels left by Amara, after figuring out that Amara's with Crowley, they break in, and while they're doing that, Metatron reveals to Cass probably our most juicy tidbit of information about the darkness yet. Mm-hmm. And that is that she's God's sister.
The darkness and the light.
I can see the resemblance. I mean, she looks a lot like Chuck.
She does. Love you, honey. So, and he says that God had to sacrifice her.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, article I read earlier said he had to sacrifice her in order to create the world, but that wasn't exactly explicitly stated, was it?
No, yeah, it was he had to give up something. It wasn't. It was weird. He didn't It was implied. It was very much implied that he had to sacrifice her to create everything he created. And when she goes on, saying, she was drinking, that whole little scene between her and Dean, that, you're the reason, I'm soaking in his creation. You're the reason that I am the way I am.
Right. Yeah. Because it.
What is that face you were just...
Who? Dom? Me?
Yeah. Dom.
Fuck you!
What? What'd she do? I don't get it.
It was the Chuck comment. He was still fuming from the Chuck comment.
I have to go back and watch this section when we're done because I don't know what just happened. Anyway, yeah, he's the first thing she saw after being imprisoned. She didn't see all of God's creation because she was imprisoned before it happened. Correct. It wasn't around when she went away.
Chuck is not God.
My God. On topic. On topic.
I don't know, is it just me, or there was some weird,
attraction?
Yeah, okay, so I was going to say, sexual weirdness going on right there. Because there was. You could see it, this whole...
And you could tell Dean was totally creeped, dude, you got the hots for a teenager, dude. Jailbait City right here.
As much as any times Dean is gone, semi-evil or whatever the hell's going to go on, I am seeing that, she goes on to her next stage and becomes more of an adult here. And there's gonna be something going on there. It's
Mm.
gonna be that hole. He's already
Right.
got this weird.
Out of everything that we've guessed about the darkness, we never were like, oh yeah, that's God's sister. We were like, oh, it's his ex-girlfriend, or it's
It's his wife.
ex-wife, or
That was the wife. Was the push? Was the big one?
I mean, we were still like leaning towards that she was somehow related to him in a big way.
But we didn't, we didn't pull on like actual familial. Like we went. I posited wife, and that she's Lucifer's mother. I was wrong. She's Lucifer's auntie.
But aunties are the best, right?
since when are God and Lucifer actually related?
Lucifer's God's. Well, I mean, they call him father. They're technically his
He's
children.
everybody's father.
True.
But
I
God
mean,
only had if we're all of God's kids and God only had one son,
Well, see, that's the thing.
then in the eyes of God we're all women.
Oh my God. Anyway, all the angels refer to him as dad. Like the archangels referred to him as dad when they were talking to each other about God. So I mean, you don't, more familial relation there. Anyway, Sam's important contribution to this episode was his visions that he keeps having. And
The cage.
Yes, it was very
The
clearly
cage.
shown to us that it was the cage he was seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think almost every episode now this season has dropped some hint towards Lucifer and the cage, and now they just show it to it.
And
like,
Adam.
Flat out shows.
Adam's not there. I mean, he's in the cage, but he's not coming out this season.
Anyway, yeah, I think Michael and Adam are staying in there.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Oh, Mike's changed his tune now. He agrees that Michael's in the Adam's in the cage.
no, I just stopped arguing with you.
I gave up fighting with you because
It's
you're a jerk.
still a win
said
on
it.
Dom's side.
Still said it. He said Adam's in the cage, so you guys heard it.
It's like
Well, of course, Adam's in the cage.
arguing with Dom on this topic is like pouring water on a slope and expecting it to flow uphill.
It does if you turn the slope upside down.
All right, so that's when I argue with Dom, I have to turn the slope upside down. I have to hang him from the ceiling by his feet.
No, you hang the ceiling by its feet.
I'm not uprooting my whole house just to argue with you.
I wouldn't mind.
And I do.
Really, honey?
She's like, yep, really, really.
So explicitly shown the cage. Like, in case you haven't guessed the foreshadowing, here's the explicit "you're a dense motherfucker" reveal. Well, I'm just moving on with the show, staying on topic.
It's okay, I'm listening.
Yeah, okay. Did I miss anything? Because she tells Dean that, she has to settle her score. The oldest score.
The oldest score.
The oldest score. Yep.
So it's clearly the highest score in Donkey Kong.
It's the highest score in anything, Kong.
It's gonna be the sibling rivalry. We've seen it through time with Cain and Abel. All the way up to Sam and Dean. So
now it's gonna be God versus darkness.
And through this whole story that parallels sibling rivalry, why did we not consider that this was God's sister?
You make a good point. Why didn't we?
That's a great point.
It didn't as much as that has been a focus since day one.
It always
of the series.
Yeah, it always
Maybe
comes
it's
down to that.
because the siblings have always been guy and guy.
That's true.
We've never had a sister situation.
Sister Act Part 3.
Kind of. Well, I don't know about that. We kind of did with the werewolf sisters.
In the grand scheme of things, they're so minor.
They were minor characters.
Very minor.
Like even Cain and Abel, though it is like a biblical story and is referenced in their lore, and then we even saw Cain himself, but Cain was only in 3 episodes total?
I think only 2, honestly.
There's a lot of talk of him, but he only showed up in
so if you really want to get into it, in the grand scheme of things, he's even pretty minor to the whole thing.
Yeah.
But he's more relevant than the werewolf sisters, I think.
Yeah, but it was just something that I thought of. I
Yeah.
mean,
No, it's a good point. So, more sibling rivalry. But all in all, pretty focused episode, and probably much to Nikki's disappointment, Len from last episode is dead.
Yeah. I
He
wanted to
was
keep
good.
Len. I did. I
That's-
wanted to keep him.
Yeah.
They could have given him a purpose by making him do all the bookwork in the bunker.
Yeah. They
But-
could have.
Sam says he's gonna go look up some lore for, look up in the textbooks and stuff. What is he gonna find?
That was my... Okay, thank you. For the end of the episode, like, I'm going to go check the lore. And walks out of the room. I'm like, what lore? This all
Yeah.
happened before the
Like,
lore
yeah.
was created.
Yeah.
no one knew what the darkness was. It was just some weird. Remember they said with the heaven that there were alarms going off, and there was alarms going off in hell, and they had no idea what the hell was going on.
And I mean,
Crowley
Metatron...
didn't know what it was, and it was just like, what?
And
Well, I mean,
Metatron
after he said that, he's walking down the hallway and he has one of his visions, and then
Yeah.
he turns around really quick, and then that's when they cut to black, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, Lucifer.
I'm just curious if there's stuff that's hidden in, the Bible that could be taken in another direction for, some kind of, because there's the whole thing with the Holy Grail, right? Where the Holy Grail may not be, a actual cup, but maybe the bloodline of Christ. And,
Person, yeah.
so they're like, and if you really look at it and you take that, and yes, it's big, it's the Da Vinci Code and the whole storyline of that, but like if you really look at it, there's not a lot of proof to say that is not the case.
Right, and I mean, the Holy
So I'm curious
Grail...
if there's something that exists in the Bible that can be taken as a sibling to God that is just worded a different way.
Right.
I always liked that concept. Like, I love the Da Vinci Code. That whole. So I always like the concept that of interpretation of, inhuman is error anyway.
Mhm.
So to manipulate or to say something is one thing could totally mean something else.
Right.
Very true.
So,
Especially how things get translated incorrectly.
yeah, as well. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, also, yeah, we're, reading this stuff in English. It's been translated from Aramaic to
Aramaic.
Greek to Latin to English. It's 4 translations from... One's a dead language, so, I mean,
Yeah.
they're languages
And we have
that
the-
don't necessarily perfectly translate to each other. I mean...
And we have the Old Testament and the New Testament, and we're well aware of also the concept is we've seen other gods. So we've had other mythologies and other,
Yeah. But then
religions come into play too.
that starts to bring into like my mind like what do they consider things like the Dead Sea Scrolls or straight out chapters and stuff that we've discovered that were completely left out of the
Yeah.
Bible. Like
Yeah.
there's stuff like that they never even addressed on this show.
The stuff the churches decided was not what they wanted to
And I mean,
interpret.
for
Right. So
Supernaturals...
they just literally took chapters of the book out.
Right, and
It was like,
Supernatural's
this is
lore
not good for
has...
us.
They've
Why have they never explored those?
Right, they've explored, like, in Supernatural's lore, I mean, you could say the Bible is inaccurate, because Castiel says it outright in Season 6.
Right.
He's, he's like, oh, the Tower of Babel. It's like, it was impressive for the time. I mean, 30 feet tall does not a tower make, but you can only stack, to sand and dried cow shit so high.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. Oh, it's so...
I was looking for a copy of the Bible in my hotel room in California.
There should
There
have
wasn't
been.
one.
I didn't see one.
I didn't even look.
Placed by the Gideons.
Yeah,
I
they
was
usually
gonna
have
try to
them.
brush up on my supernatural lore.
I would say read the Book of Job. It's interesting. It's like the devil. It's Satan's only kill count
I already
in the
saw
Bible.
Mission Impossible. It's
Oh,
okay.
Jesus
I know
Christ,
all
I was
about
waiting
the Book
for
of
that
Job.
to come up. You know 2 verses from the Book of Job if you've seen Mission Impossible.
I know all about it.
And they're just 2 snippets, like 2 really good adages. They have nothing to do with the actual Book of Job. This is coming from a Catholic school student here. Anyway,
Dante's Inferno. We have multiple layers of hell.
yes. Are you okay, Nikki?
Mm.
Wait, Wake up.
She was clearly reading those 2 verses of the Book of Job.
Yes, because she
I
totally
have it
has
right here. Right in front of me. See?
Yep, I see it. She was so fascinated
like
she transcribed them onto
she's like my own version of it.
paper.
Yep.
Hey. Okay, anyway. Moving on. That's our show, I think, right? We just have to mention next episode.
Yeah.
Speaking of transcribing the Bible, I pissed off a nun when I was in the 8th grade. She made me write the book of Genesis on paper.
Believe it or not, I went to cataclysm school.
Cataclysm school, that's lovely.
Yes. Catechism.
Anyway,
Cataclysm school.
the next episode.
I got I should have went to cataclysm school. I got the teacher so mad that he threw a chalk eraser from the chalkboard at me as hard as he could, winged it like he was throwing for Major League Baseball, and it hit me in the chest, and dust just went everywhere.
I'm coughing thinking about that. No, you can't. I mean, I
deserved it, though.
Yeah, my health teacher used to throw erasers at the class when we pissed her off.
Yeah.
That's a good kid.
I've heard the stories.
Really? Have you talked to my teachers?
No, you're a good kid. Anyway, next episode is Plush, is the name of the episode. Shh. Wasn't talking to you, dog. Sheriff.
You have a hellhound in your house?
Yes, and I'm gonna take him to hell. In a basket.
He's probably
In
telling.
many pieces.
How are you gonna find him? He's invisible.
He's probably telling on the cat right now. Yeah, he's definitely telling on the cat. Anyway, Sheriff Donna calls Sam. Sheriff Donna, we haven't heard from her in a while.
Hooray! I love Sheriff Donna. We should tell Cleo.
We
should tell Cleo. Sheriff Donna calls Sam and Dean for help after a horrific murder with supernatural elements happens in her town. Sam continues to have visions and asks God for help, which frustrates Dean. I have a feeling by the end of the season, they're going to be at each other's throats again. Sam is going to be on one side, and Dean's going to be on the other again.
I'm telling you, Dean's going to be all wrapped up in the darkness. Literally.
And then Sam has Lucifer. Oh, it's such a happy family.
My big
crazy.
My big thing with this is Amara was just like, you can't kill me. Don't even bother. It's not gonna work. So I feel like the only way to kill Amara is to kill Dean. I feel like they're linked.
Wow, that's actually pretty good.
That's a big thing, yeah, right there.
Because we always get one of the brothers is in danger.
Yeah, in mortal danger.
Yeah, and the next time they die, it's going to be permanent.
They have been warned.
If only they'll hold true to that. So if you watch the promo, the murder involves a guy. I don't know if it's a giant plush rabbit or a guy wearing a rabbit head, like a giant plush rabbit suit.
So it's Frank from Donnie Darko.
Yeah. It reminded me of the episode how many seasons ago where the giant teddy bear came to life because the kid wished it to life.
Oh, that was one of the great episodes.
I know. Hoping for something like that. Probably not happening. But that is our show. Yeah. Kim, where can they find you?
At HUFFITY
I want to dance every time she says it. Nikki, how about you?
On Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
Chuck is not God.
You know, Dom, I was about to actually ask, where can we find you when you're not wondering about the outcome of the fight between Amara and Chuck? My God.
Here he goes.
There he
Fuck
goes.
you guys.
You guys can find Dom on Phenomadom.
Do. Phenomadom.
PHENOMEDOM.
Do.
And, oh my God, I will love it when Chuck comes back and is revealed as God. Let me just tell you right there. Anyway, you could...
That moment that happens, Cleo will be on this show and she will take over.
She will be on this show. She will take over and be like, ah! You can find me on Twitter at Philodrin. You can find all of us on Facebook, Gmail, Google+, MySpace, and Twitter, and most importantly, YouTube at ASOTV Podcast. You can follow us there for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Thanks for watching, everybody. I don't know where Dom went.
He'll be back. He's always back.
He just hates us right now.
Drunk is not God. Fuck you.
I was waiting for it.